Dude, you know how many annoying things there are in the world?
Like smacking your lips, like going to lines at Walmart.
Driving slow. There's just so much stuff. Watching the news for a minute, you're going to be annoyed with the life.
Oh my God.
Watch Judge Judy, you're going to be annoyed with people.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week at The Man Panel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 7th week, the 7th episode of the Man Panel. I am Captain Astro, and I'm here with Jack Lumber.
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes in every man's life, and really every person's life, you just need to rant a little bit. Let some stuff out and vent. So this episode is going to be completely about stuff that annoys us.
Darn right.
No news, no movie reviews, nothing. Just what annoys us. The top 10 things that Captain Astro and I have. So we're just going to jump right into it.
We got a list here. And I mean, I'm actually kind of annoyed right now. Like, I'm
kind
of
like
just
getting
thinking
fired
about
up
it.
by
Like,
it. So you might hear some yelling. I don't know, some growls.
Can we get a manly roar? Can we just kind of like keep a...
Okay.
On three?
On three.
Like, one,
okay.
two, three.
It feels good to growl.
It does.
Anyway, that's
a
manly tip. That's a manly tip. You should growl.
Growl.
Frequently.
So, first and foremost...
hold on. Let me say another tip that I just thought of. You guys all are well aware that a small dog is really not a dog. It's more of a cat.
It's a cat.
But, this being said, small dogs have Napoleon complexes. They think they're tougher and bigger than they are.
Yes.
So they will bark at you insatiably.
All the time.
The best way to deal with a small dog barking at you, is to bark back.
Indeed.
I have found that. These little yipper dogs are yipping at me. I started barking back, and then all of a sudden I noticed the owners in the background. The look they gave me was hilarious. But yes,
that's awesome. When was this?
This was several years ago in Washington State. You should bark back at small dogs.
Indeed. There's this one that barks across the street, and I did that as I was walking to Jack's house the other day. I just started barking hardcore back at it, and it shut up. It was amazing. I was like, yeah, you know I'm the alpha male.
It's quite funny.
So we have our list of things that annoy us on top of dogs that are yappers. Yes. Jack, start it off.
So the first thing is the improper use of the word literally.
Literally.
This happens so frequently in today's world.
I quite literally died. I literally just died.
Like, oh my gosh.
You know, Tommy, I can help you with that.
Tommy literally broke my heart. Did he now? He reached in your chest and pulled it out and he snapped it over the knee.
Yeah. Like, that doesn't happen.
And no.
I can help you with that. Like, let me grab my sword, and I will quite literally cut your heart out and in half and put it back.
If you want to do that way, yeah. Oh, I was literally laughing so hard my head fell off. No, it didn't. Literally and figuratively have been completely... let me start again. Literally and figuratively have literally exchanged places. Literally means it's actually happening now. Like, I literally punched Captain Astro in the arm just then.
That literally happened. There's no figurative.
I figuratively stabbed him in the head.
Right.
With a knife because maybe he has a, I don't know, something hurt in his head and it feels like a knife. That's figurative. Right. That's not real.
There's a difference.
I literally died laughing. No, you didn't. I'm sure there have been people that did.
Right.
Like that guy in Mary Poppins. Didn't he die from laughing?
I'm pretty sure he might have actually died.
He did.
Yeah.
But my wife and I we went to see Brian Regan, the comedian, and she was 6 months pregnant at the time, and she was worried about laughing so hard that she would give birth, literally. That would have been a story.
That would have been a story.
It did not happen. The baby's still in there.
And you know what else this kind of correlates with, like, LOLs and laughing, on the floor laughing, like, so hard. I've never once seen a person roll on the floor laughing. ROLF. It doesn't happen. Or whatever, FL. I don't know what these are. Anyway.
I feel like there was only one time in the history of my life where I actually fell to my knees.
Right.
Because something was so funny.
I mean, that would have to be an epic, funny moment.
Micah did. My brother Tori, we were trying to teach him how to ride a motorcycle and dirt bike. So we're in my aunt's house, and there's this big field, and then alongside the field there's a line of trees. So Tori's like riding along, and he's trying to make the turn to go around, line up parallel with the trees, and go back, along the field. And he accidentally guns it, like pulls the throttle way back, and just takes off into the trees. So my brother Micah and I, we start sprinting over because we're like over by the house. We're running to see if he's okay. Tori like emerges from the trees like a branch stuck in his hair.
What happened?
He's like, I'm okay. And Micah fell over and laughed. It was.
He does. He actually laughs pretty hard. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, when you say I'm literally rolling on the floor, it's like you're not. You're using your thumbs to text me that.
Right. Like, even if you laughed out loud, like the LOLs, like they typically do not happen.
Yeah, that's LOL really means I literally lulled. No, you didn't.
No, you did not. You breathed out of your nose a little more than you usually do, because everybody knows that's what it's like. You're just pushing more air out of your nose than usual.
Anyway, next one.
Number 2, texting while driving. This is just an obvious one. The other day, I was almost hit by a woman who was texting and driving. She quite, without a turn signal, she quite literally
Good use.
Went into my lane. She was about to collide with me. Now, I actually went past the double yellow line onto the other side of the road. There were no cars coming, and I avoided her. Narrowly, I was actually with your wife when that happened. And I was like, well, son of a gun. Like, come on. And then, certainly enough, she was just sitting there on her phone, texting, looking out. I'm like, yep, texting and driving.
Kills more people than alcohol anymore. So just don't do that. That's stupid.
Stop it. Another tip. Don't just text and drive. All right, number 3.
Let's see.
Unclean milk frothing equipment.
As pretentious as that sounds, Captain Astro is annoyed by this. I have no experience with this, so I'm just going to let him take it.
I like I like to make espresso, and as such, I like to froth milk to put into my beverage. And it is very hard to get hardened milk off of the milk frothing equipment.
I was here one time when he was cleaning it, so it doesn't look like that much fun. I don't think I'll ever get into that.
Yeah, it's a necessary evil. But so yes, unclean milk frothing equipment.
Yeah,
clean your milk frothers, people.
All right, this one I drove past a sign the other day, and you could see all this from the highway. So I'll briefly explain it. The sign said,
it's modern camping or glamping.
Yes, that's what annoys us. So the sign said like Armstrong Campground or something like that. So then I pass. And what do I see? I don't see a campground. What I see is a neighborhood of trailers. Not the kind of trailers that you drive and park there and then go home.
Not an RV.
Not an RV. These were permanent...
Fixed into the ground,
small housing units.
Right.
With telephone wires everywhere and a driveway and decks and satellite TV and whatever else. They had a swimming pool and a go-kart track and a
this is called
tennis court.
This isn't camping.
They said it's camping. It's not a campground. That's a freaking neighborhood.
That's a neighborhood.
It's a small,
it's a trailer park
neighborhood.
Camping is different.
Yeah, a campground. This is what I would think. I walk out into the woods where there's nothing. I build a lean-to out of sticks, and I sleep there overnight. That's a campground.
That is a campground.
Or, if you want to be even a little more modern, you take a tent with you. Go out into the middle of the woods or a field, throw your tent on the ground, build a fire, kill an animal, and eat it. That's camping.
That is camping, yeah.
This is not camping. And glamping, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing. You build your tent
with all the luxuries of what you do every day. My computer. I need a generator for my refrigerator that I brought with me.
A generator for your tent, then you're doing something wrong. Don't teach your kids that kind of camping, man.
I mean, we've disgraced the Mother Nature. Like, the wilderness is not what it used to be. The wilderness is now going without Wi-Fi for an hour and a half. It's terrible. Like, I'm walking on the street and I don't have Wi-Fi. What will I do? Yeah, no.
Don't teach your kids that kind of camping, man. We have disgraced the proud tradition of our ancestors.
Indeed.
Abraham lived in tents, like a boss.
Like a boss.
And he had an army, also. He didn't glamp. He was an epic camper.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking we could get back to that.
He had a big tent and probably a big bed inside, and lots of tents for his other things. But you know what? he just put it wherever he felt like and stayed there. He didn't have Wi-Fi. He didn't have a refrigerator.
All right.
When he got hungry, he went and slaughtered one of his beasts or went hunting, you know.
He made food. He went out and got it
yeah.
and made it.
He was not a glamper.
No
Probably
glamping.
had an awesome beard. He had a child when he was 99, so he must have been something manly about that dude.
You know what you need to do, people, is what we really need is to get back to some basic survival stuff. I'm looking at my Special Forces Survival Guide right now. I mean, it's not military edition, but what it is it's good enough. And I'm actually starting to learn this stuff. During the winter months, if you're in your house, you don't have much to do, you should probably take up some form of learning how to tie knots or to make snares or how to set up a lean-to. Do things that in the summertime you can then use those skills and go camping properly.
Yeah, I think, just a side note, coming up at some point in the future, we're going to do videos on how to do certain of those things.
Very true. I love that idea. It's happening.
Absolutely.
Moving on to the next one we have, number 6, is our different size garments by brand. So the other day I walked into a store and I told this man, I said, "Excuse me, sir, your mannequin is wearing my sweater." Just like that, actually. And he looked at me like I had 3 heads and said, "I'm sorry." It's like, "That mannequin over there has the sweater I want. Can I have it?" He's like, "Well, if you buy it." It's like, "Of course I'm going to buy it. No, I'm just going to try it on or take it." So I got it, and it was a medium. Now, I'm wearing a sweater currently that is also a medium, so I assumed, naturally, that they would be the same size. From the same store, what have you. It wasn't. It was too small, both in the chest and in my arms. It was not long enough. So, I don't like how 2 mediums can be completely different.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. You buy a large in one store and an extra large in another store, and the extra large is smaller than the large, and then the small in a different store is bigger than the extra large. Like, what the heck?
Come on. Anyone who creates an app that knows all this stuff, like, oh, you need a large from this store and a medium from that store, is going to be
this big.
Genius. Yeah. Moving on. Abbreviated words.
Abbreviated words. We use words like totes and probs and defs, stupid things like that. We at the Man Panel believe that we should start making things longer.
Indeed.
Not abbreviated. So, for example, mine, Captain Astor will tell you his in a moment. Yep. Mine the other day, I was driving late at night and there was a yellow light, or it was a green light, and then it turned yellow, it was red, and I could see it from far off. I was like, oh man, I was trying to get through that stupid green light. So, basically, what I actually said, instead of crap, a red light, what I said was, "Hearken, woe is me, for yonder colloquerous orb hath undergone a metamorphosis most infuriating, and now shines crimson, as if the fiery eyes of a great dragon. And thus were my hopes of proceeding past these crossroads unhindered, smitten down before me as if by the cold knife or a cold edge of a sharp blade or something." I don't remember exactly what it was.
That was a lot.
But I was like, all you really needed to say was, "Darn it, it's a red light. I wanted to get past that." Right. But it's so much more interesting to make it longer and use big words. Like, I had to look this one up. Colloquerous means green.
This actually was like on a Facebook post or something.
It was,
if I recall, yeah. So funny. And we do this all the time, actually. We've had a couple, long texts between the two of us, so we do that back and forth. But my example was from yesterday, whenever I was going to exchange the garment. And I had this whole speech prepared to give to the customer service representative. And so I came in and I said, "Behold, said medium red garment is too short both in breast and wing. And as such, I would like to exchange it for its larger cousin upon said mannequin across the row." Yeah. And, they're like, "Well, when'd you buy it?" "Upon yesteryear I bought said garment, proudly, expecting it to fit," and all this, and so that was that. And then, "Okay, what are you trying to say?" I need to exchange the garment. But it was awesome. Like, I will pay you 40 marks upon the Washington of George. All those things. Do we have an accord?
40 units.
Right. Bully, we have an agreement. Yeah.
I shall render unto thee 40 units bearing the likeness of our first president, George Washington. In exchange for a larger sweater.
A larger sweater.
Gladly I shall pay thee.
Today is mine, indeed. The gods of heaven's armies are smiling upon us today. Huzzah.
Huzzah. Yes, indeed.
Well, all you needed to say was, "Can I please exchange the medium for the
But that's so much more boring. Why do we use abbreviations when longer words are more fun?
Exactly.
And you sound like a complete idiot because no one knows what you're talking about.
They look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, instead using, it totally totes my goats. I want to punch you in the face when you say that. I really do. And it's not you. It's just what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when people say whatever floats your boat, I like the term whatever floats your goat, and because goats don't really float unless you put them in like a little inflatable raft, and it's really funny.
Whatever floats your goat.
People who ask me if I will ever shave. No. Like, people asked me before my wedding, they said, hey, so Christian, you gonna shave for the wedding, man? I'm like, no! Are you kidding me? Why would I do that? Marriage is for an adult. Or I said when I shave, I look like a child. Marriage is not for children. Marriage is for two consenting, responsible adults who, aren't going to kill each other when they get annoyed with stuff. My wife and I rant to each other every once in a while, too. We do that instead of killing each other or breaking up and getting divorced, Mm-hmm. Marriage is not for children. Children don't have beards. I have a beard. I'm not a child. I'm married. I'm not going to shave for that.
I'm not going to shave for this.
Also, my wife would not like that. She would think the same thing. She'd come on here and say exactly what I'm saying. She'd be like, no, you look like a baby. Marriage isn't for babies. I didn't marry a baby. I married a man.
Mm-hmm. Darn right.
And I must say that Captain Astro is coming along with his beard now.
I'm doing what I can.
It's pretty legit.
I'm doing what I can.
I don't think he'll be allowed to make it as long as mine because he works in banking.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, mine is in two like 3-inch ponytails. And
yeah, they
I'm
look pretty awesome.
about it. Trying to be
Becoming a Viking. Yeah.
Anyhow,
that's good night.
Including in that one, people who ask me or people who assume that I've played a certain sport because I'm tall.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Christian, you must have played basketball or volleyball or something.
That happens all the time.
Yes, I did, but that's your assumption is racist.
Against tall people.
Yes, I did play basketball, and yes, I did usually end up getting the jump ball. And yes, I played volleyball, but swimming was what I like to do.
Exactly. You assume because I'm tall, I'm playing basketball?
Yeah.
How dare you, sir?
I assume because if I assume you're an elf because you're short, is that not offensive?
Indeed.
It is.
Indeed.
Just watch the movie Elf. You'll know all about the offense
There's
that
a difference.
can be taken.
Come on now.
Anyhow.
Number 9.
People who walk slowly.
And there are two kinds of paces for those that work downtown. As Christian said, I'm a banker. I work downtown. There are two paces for people downtown. I have a job and unemployed. And I hate getting stuck behind someone who walks so slowly when I have things to do. I used to work in Walmart, so you learn how to navigate around slow people. But even to this day, it's hard. It is.
Sometimes they block the whole sidewalk or the whole aisle.
Exactly.
And I'm reminded of a scene from a funny animated movie called The Croods. It's all about cavemen. But there's this one scene where this guy's like, do you people have any other speed besides wandering? That's what I feel like every time I get stuck behind somebody walking slow. I'm like, come on. Do you guys have any other speed besides wandering? I'll take a saunter.
Yeah, right. Just a little more lively.
Or a mosey.
Like a mosey, even. I love that. I will take a mosey over.
I would prefer you walk, but
sweet
a
Jesus.
step up from wandering would be
So
sauntering
true.
or moseying.
Like I have things to do, people.
Yeah.
I have places to be. I have people to see, and you are hindering my ability to meet them.
Yeah.
I am now late because of your sauntering.
My friend texted me the other day. He said, he was on the show a while back, Jack the Ripped. He texted me the other day. He's like, dude, don't ever let me get old, okay? Why? Because they walk slow and they never move. And he's like, and I wouldn't mind if they would just, like, get out of the way and acknowledge the fact that they're in my way, but they never do that.
They never do. Yeah. Oh, the world is mine. I do not care. I am old and...
I mean, I don't know. I hope I'll be different. I hope when I'm old, I hope to be wealthy enough to pay my great-grandchildren to drive me around.
Indeed.
Or somebody else, because I don't want to be driving when I'm 85. People are like, it's my independence. No. You're old. You can't drive anymore. I'm gonna own the fact. If I live to be 85, which I'm not really hoping to.
Right.
But if I do, I don't want to be driving my car. I want somebody else to be driving my car. Or motorcycle. Or whatever.
I don't know if I want to live to be that old in general. I just kind of like, they say that 9 minutes is taken off your life for every piece of bacon you eat. And we've come to the realization that being true, you're taking it off the worst years.
Yeah.
So eat more bacon.
Eat more bacon.
Another
That's a
random tip.
That's a good tip.
Number 10?
Number 10.
The me monster.
Me monster.
Me monster. Me. I.
Rah, rah, rah. You guys been to a party when someone's just always talking about themselves and nothing else?
Gross.
It's horrible.
It is. It's all about me. I have great stories. My stories trump yours. I'm a douchebag because of it.
Yeah, and that's basically it. We're gonna probably put a link at the bottom of this to a famous rants about meme monsters, which we actually stole that term from.
Exactly.
Brian Regan, comedian I was talking about. Hilarious.
Yeah. He goes on, and he describes it so much better than I can.
He does. Yeah. And that's why we're just going to leave it at that, I think.
Yes, meme monsters.
So yeah, that's our angry ranting. Let's give it one more growl. Things that annoy us.
So that's it for the man panel.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Peace.